shows featuring Ash and Lou, bringing you reviews, updates, and entertainment. All things wrestling.
You're watching the Wrestling Bros, featuring myself, Ash, and Vic, and we're going to go through a run through of some of the stuff that's happened throughout the week in WWE and the wrestling world. So we're going to be looking at things like R-Truth, turning from R-Truth to Ron Killings. We're looking at Jacob Fatu and what does that path look like. And we're also going to be looking at a few other things that happened throughout the week. So we'll start off with R-Truth. We saw he made a return at Money in the Bank. A bit of a surprise because earlier in the week we're hearing that he got released. And then obviously at all the shows, the Raws, the NXT and even the SmackDown chants where the crowd were asking for R-Truth to return. What's your thoughts? What are you thinking? Do you reckon it was work or do you reckon it was actually got released?
Nah, he got released 100%. I reckon they tried to give him a not so good deal. Maybe they tried to offer him a legend contract. And he wasn't happy with it. He knows his match sells, how popular he is, and he's quite popular backstage. So I guess he felt he's been there for ages as well. Do you know what I mean? So I guess he felt a bit probably disrespected by the offer they gave him, and he turned it down. And I think they were forced into rehiring. The We Want Truth movement was that it's kind of like the Yes movement, Kofi Mania. Like the crowd was proper, screaming for truth. And obviously the backstage, from what we saw, people wearing his t-shirts and the messages from the other superstars, etc. So I think it got to a point where they were forced to bring it back because it didn't make no sense. Because Saturday Night Main Event a couple weeks ago, he's in the main event with Cena. Then like the following Friday, he's getting squashed by a JC. Like it didn't even make no sense. You know what I'm saying? How can you be from the main event with Cena, and then even in the pay-per-view before when he cost Randy the match, like in that type of realm, and then to getting squashed a couple weeks later, and then boom, Sunday he was released. It didn't make no sense. I think the way they treated him as well. If they wanted to release him, they knew they wasn't going to renew his contract, or they didn't reach that agreement. Surely they could have had that match, loser leaves or something like that. You know what I mean? Or John Cena gave him a mad beatdown and he's got to retire. Or, you know what I'm saying? See how Braun Breaker like smoked Ricochet. And he's in hospital the other day. He's collapsed. You know what I'm saying? Then he's gone. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that. What was it?
I think for me, you're right. I think he did get released. It didn't make no sense though to me. Similar. I think if you knew that his contract was running down and maybe negotiations ain't going well, then give him a better send off than that. He's been in the company for years. He's very much been a company man. He was a Vince guy. He's been even a Paul guy. I'm expecting that, you're going to treat him with some dignity. You're going to give him a proper storyline. Yeah, the Cena thing, because obviously he's friends with Cena. That's the storyline behind it. But it just didn't make sense in terms of, like you said, he's lost. He's been the main event, and then all of a sudden he's getting squashed by JC. Don't make no sense. And then boom, he's gone. He's off the TV, and he's announcing on X. They don't even do an announcement to say, "Oh, thank you, Truth. Thank you for what you've done." Nothing like that. And they're cheap to release the T-shirt the day before. No respect for the guy.
Just make a quick change of him before.
I think as well. I think which was funny. It was a disrespect, but it was funny. With Triple H on the post Money in the Bank show when he turned and he says, it was work. The press conference. Yeah, sorry. He was like, "Oh, it was work." Come on, man. He's trying to kind of, take the heat off a little bit. And I was going, I don't know. We weren't convincing. And then when I saw that he's R-Truth's son, tweeted and said, "What work? No work." And then R-Truth himself even confirms. And I thought to myself, You know, just say you lot messed up, man. Be honest. Be honest with
Yeah, just
the public. Yeah. We messed up. However, he's back now, and he's back on some madness. So obviously, we see that he cut a promo on Raw this week,
yeah.
introducing. This is now the introduction from R-Truth to now Ron Killings. Um, Seems like a more serious character. Um, what's your thoughts in terms of where do you think they're gonna go with that storyline?
Honestly, I don't have a clue because try to work out is your heels, your face. Obviously, you got on Busted Open and went mad on Baba Ray. So I don't know. I don't know what the character is. I guess we're gonna have to kind of makes me a bit intrigued, to be honest. Let's see. Hopefully, he pulls up on SmackDown, and because he's a SmackDown superstar, so
He
I
should
don't
be there
know.
tonight.
So he
Yeah,
should be there making some type of something. So yeah,
yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully, whatever it is, I want to see more in ring because I've said this for a while that I want to see more in ring. I know he's good. He's good with the sketches and the comedic thing, but
yeah.
in ring, I want to see, and I hope he throws away that John Cena moveset. If I'm being honest, and goes back to, the K quick. If he
Well, I
can
think
still
so,
do
in
it.
it because he's saying that he ain't doing the gimmick thing no more. He's not going to be taken for a joke no more, in it.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I guess the bigger question in this is what happens to little Jimmy?
but Jimmy's gone. I reckon he's going to be like, you see, like remember when him and Miz got fired, and then they got into the Hell in the Cell, and they took out, I can't remember who it was at the time. And there was
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So I guess he might be on that type of edgy
Beyond
type
that,
character. Yeah,
yeah. Well, we'll stay tuned and look close and see what they do with that. So then moving on, storylines we've seen recently, obviously Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu.
yeah,
The night before Money in the Bank, Jacob Fatu caught Solo Sikoa, saying all gas, no brains. And then in the Money in the Bank match, he
yeah.
writes him off. Um,
Solo
Cost
messed
him.
up, man.
Yeah, he did. Cost him the Money in the Bank match. Obviously now he's gone from the werewolf to I guess the lone wolf now because he's gonna be I guess a solo act. What do you think that means for their future? Do you reckon is something that they're gonna long out? Or do you think something
I
that
think
will?
they'll have a match at SummerSlam.
Okay,
Um,
yeah,
I heard a rumor there's going to be a little debut tonight. Um, Hikuleu,
yeah,
Tamatanga and Tongalo's brother. So we need to see where if he's going to be with Jacob or he's going to join Solo.
solo, yeah,
Um, what happens when Toma and Tonga come back?
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I guess it all kind of revolves around there.
yeah. I guess I think with that story, I quite enjoyed it. In terms of JC's come, him and Jacob don't really get on too much, but they're very similar in terms of hot-headed characters. And obviously now this just, I guess, will aid that feud a little bit more. It'll feed into it. I'm guessing we're gonna see a lot of Jacob Fatu being ambushed by Solo Sikoa or JC or even both. But I
yeah,
guess it's now, even though the bloodline thing's finished, I guess this is kind of like a small mini bloodline type of storyline, if that makes sense. Um,
yeah, I'm guessing so.
Obviously,
Yeah.
yeah, we got, like you said, Tongaloa and Tamatonga to come back, but then my wondering is, are they gonna, because we've seen with the last few bloodline storylines they last a year or even 2 years. Is this another one that's gonna take us into SummerSlam, but then is it something that's gonna boil into
Um,
Survivor Series or
Nah, I reckon by September after SummerSlam it'll be done.
yeah,
Yeah, I reckon by then it'll be done
and then
because there's only so long they can stretch it out.
Shit
And
out.
because
Yeah.
they're not main characters, see, like Roman hardly appeared. They had the title. He had the title in the chokehold, so they could stretch it out. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And obviously JC, I don't see him being part of this for longer because I think he's got a story to tell for himself. Do you know what I mean? Coming from
Yeah, I think it was
the
just a
other
good way
promotion.
to. It was a good way to introduce him rather than him coming in cold. Because obviously he's been in Japan, and a lot of fans, WWE fans, don't really. Seems like they don't really tap into Japan.
Yeah,
So rather than him coming in cold, just coming in as Jeff Cobb, who's this guy? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just another Olympian. Like, do you know what I mean? So bringing him into this with people, so he gets relevant TV time.
yeah,
Do you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So people know, okay, yeah, Jason Mattel, and then you can do a bit of research. You can get a bit more invested in him. So I reckon it was a good way to introduce him. I reckon that in the end, they'll just get rid of him. Like, not get rid of him, but I can imagine that the Tongans and Solo, but you're not bloodline. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, get out
yeah,
of here. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Make a look, cost a couple matches or something,
yeah,
and then you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Yeah,
Because I,
it's your fault why Jacob, don't rock with us no more. Like,
yeah, yeah,
get out of here.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it would be good to see because I've seen him wrestle a few times. When he was in Japan, and I always thought he was really good. He's got a really sick move set, and I think as well his character's sellable. He's
Yeah,
the classic big man, if that makes sense. And I just want to see them use him that way. I don't really like the right hand man thing, but like you said, sorry, they tried to bring him in hot, if that makes sense. Bring him into a
yeah,
relevant storyline. It makes sense. He's Solo's enforcer, and he'll build a name for himself, a new name for himself, so that the WWE fans can warm to him. So yeah, I guess it's another storyline to kind of watch out for and see how
yeah,
that one unfolds. And then speaking of storylines, we saw a storyline end on Monday with Gunther versus Jey Uso for the
yeah,
heavyweight championship.
yeah,
I think it was a bit obvious that Gunther was going to win, based on the fact that he had was it three matches in a row? Was it
yeah.
Friday, the Saturday, and then the Monday?
Well, I just see he's the final man in the King of the Ring for a 4-way.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But he's
So
money,
yeah,
innit?
yeah. But I see that they're going for Gunther versus Goldberg at the next Saturday night main event. I think Goldberg's last match, so it'll be a title match. You know what I mean?
He better not win
I think it's his last match. He ain't winning it. You know what I'm saying?
it. Yeah, yeah.
They won't make that. I
So
don't think they'll make that mistake ever again. Or if he does win it, he'll forfeit it. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, all the same night.
Or
So
Seth Rollins
cash
cashing.
in. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's not even a bad shout.
He's not leaving Saturday night main event with that title.
Yeah,
Whatever scenario, whether he loses clean or yeah, I'm saying like he's not
yeah.
there. We're not gonna see him on Raw Monday night, like with the title. You know what I mean?
Call his son into the ring, hold the belt,
Yeah,
all of that farewell stuff. But with that Gunther and Jey Uso match, I thought the match itself was an emotional match. I think for the fans watching, because I watched it and I'm a big Gunther fan, so I was gassed at the fact that he had won that belt back.
yeah,
But I think for the fans in the audience, they went on an emotional roller coaster because they seen him in the headlock. That last 5 minutes of that match, got him
yeah.
in the headlock,
What's a
and
headlock
then
for headlock?
yeah, and a
Or
proper
sleeper, yeah.
sleeper, yeah, but proper. old school wrestling. You know,
Yeah,
elbow drop, leg drop wrestling. You know,
yeah.
back
Actually,
to
that wrestled
basics.
in it. Yeah,
Yeah, and
it
I
wasn't like a
think
spot
because
fest.
that's the thing. And I think Bubba Ray, I watched Bubba Ray's pod earlier this week, and he described the match as being a psychological match. And Gunther has this way on when he wrestles with you, he takes you on this journey, he makes wrestlers come down to his level in terms of wrestling and makes them actually look better. Because I looked at Jay in that match,
Or
I said,
go up to his
"Oh,
level.
go up to his level, yeah." Because I looked at Jay and I said, "Rah, he's actually decent." Whereas I've looked at him
Oh,
before and I was like,
no, he can wrestle, yeah, but I think he kind of fell into John Cena mode. That, you know, man, just doing the same moves. That,
"Yeah,
and I think a
yeah."
lot of wrestlers end up like that. Oh, let me just do a super kick. Like Shawn Michaels weren't like stamping in the corner like all these years for the move just to be a standard move. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, hopefully from now on, he bit of character
It's
development.
at
He
that
actually
level.
wrestles more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No, it was good. It was good. And I think there was, even though I knew, well, I had a feeling, should I say, Gunther was going to win. There was
yeah,
at
I thought
certain
that.
parts of the match, I was like, ooh, ooh,
Yeah, they did
he
like
might not. Yeah,
there was a bit parts in there that you're like, ooh, Jay might nick it, or maybe not. Like, you know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
So with this King of the Ring, do you reckon they try and give him a last roll at the dice type of thing? Do you reckon that's what they'll go with?
Um, I think a SmackDown wrestler will win King of the Ring because what's next for Cena? Because he's not gonna have the Cody match straight away. Because if he beats Cody again, then you know what I'm saying. So I reckon a SmackDown wrestler wins that, and then that's the say the SummerSlam match hypothetically, or maybe it might even what
Clash in Paris.
crashing, and there's the Saudi event as well. Right, so yeah, I've seen this wrestling Punk then, innit? So yeah, it'll be either. So it's Clash in Paris, July,
August,
end of
July,
August,
yeah,
because
end of August,
SummerSlam's beginning of August, 2 nights, innit?
beginning of August, yeah.
So yeah, even yes, I reckon it'll be a SummerSlam thing then. Actually, what? Hold on, where's Night of Champions in Saudi?
That's in Saudi.
Oh, so yes, the winner of the King of the Rings in Saudi, innit?
Yeah,
Yeah. So I guess that's the SummerSlam match then.
that's the SummerSlam match.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I thought they personally, I thought they would have saved the Punk match for SummerSlam. I thought that would have made more sense.
if he's post on
Yeah.
Instagram and
No,
saying
what did he
we're
put up?
getting Arab money or Arab money.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm thinking, when I say Arab money, I'm thinking like Busta Rhymes song.
that song in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're getting
yeah.
Arab money.
No, kudos to him. Kudos to him. Punk. He's. I'm still waiting for him to get his run at the title, but
Yeah,
good on him,
I
man.
think it'll come eventually.
Yeah, 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 yeah. He's still got some time on his contract as well, anyway.
Yeah,
And he's just, if you think about it, really, this is his second year back? Second year?
yeah. No, it's first year. No, he came back
Is
up.
it first year? Survivor Series, yeah. Then he
No,
got
no, no,
injured.
no,
Oh, it's
no.
his second year, isn't it?
Second year because he wrestled at the
Yeah,
next. He came back at the end of the last like War Games, and he wrestled War
yeah,
Games last year. So yeah,
yeah, yeah.
he got injured at the Rumble.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, so and he's had some really good feuds. Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins, and then obviously throw Roman Reigns into the mix as well. He's had some
Yeah,
really good feuds.
yeah, yes.
So moving on, which is a bit of a random one. Breaking news today, reports showed that Omos signed a new multi-year contract, and to to my understanding, Omos hasn't been on TV since the Andre the Giant Battle Royal,
Yeah,
which
before.
the year before, yeah,
Yeah, last Mania.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. I mean, you just can collect the dough, innit?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, if they're going to pay you money and you can just, like, sit at home and just go to signings and
yeah, yeah.
do
They're using,
podcasts.
because I watched these Chris Van Vliet interview, and he was talking about, they pretty much use him as an attraction.
Okay.
Like he's like the freak, if that makes sense, in terms of
Yeah.
people come up and measure against him and put their hands up next to his and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But he prides himself on being a wrestler. So then
Okay.
my guess is they must have presented him with a plan, some
Yeah.
sort of plan.
I
But
guess
then
it's fun.
for me, what makes sense to me is he goes to NXT. I'd throw him in NXT if I'm being honest and just start there. I think that's a good foundation for him.
Yeah, maybe he can be the one to beat Obafemi.
Really? Yeah,
Because,
yeah,
like, I stick a pin, man. That Obafemi match against, I can't remember the guy's name. That was
yeah,
a match.
yeah, 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 yeah,
That
yeah,
was a
yeah,
match.
yeah,
I thought the guy was gonna beat him.
yeah,
I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie. I thought my man's gonna beat Obafemi.
yeah,
The guy's like taller than him, just as big as him,
yeah,
and Oba beat him. So it'd be sick. So everyone's like, right, Oba's beat everyone. My man's the same size as him. Like, obviously
yeah,
everyone else is like a little man to him. Like, no. Like, you look at Wesley's not gonna beat him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
So then, boom. Man said, yeah, who's gonna beat me? Da 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 da. Obviously, Trick's doing the TNA thing, so it's not gonna be Trick. Boom, Omos is there now. And then Omos beats him. That's
yeah,
believable, bro.
yeah, yeah,
Someone that's
yeah,
really bigger than him. Like,
yeah,
just
yeah,
squashes him, bro. Open challenge.
yeah, 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 yeah. It makes sense. It makes sense. I think I just had a look now, and I think the guy Jasper, I think his name is. He was on LFG.
Yeah, he's Booker T's guy, isn't he?
Yes. No, he was. He was the Undertaker, wasn't he?
Oh, I
Was he?
thought it was Booker T.
It might be
I
Booker
didn't
T.
watch. To be honest, I didn't actually
Yeah,
watch LFG.
yeah. I think he is Booker T. I think you're right. Yes, it is Booker T because the Undertaker was the girl who's the Olympic champion. But I remember he was quite dominant on LFG, and I remember he was proper regarded for when he did the promo and told CM Punk he's gonna make him bend the knee.
Yeah,
Um, and I remember a couple of weeks ago, Undertaker brought him and he shook Obafemi's hand and said, "I got some guys coming for you." So they kind of built up to this. But
yeah,
when I saw
Protector
the
yelled,
match,
didn't
I
it?
said, "Woo,
Yeah, bro. See that he chokeslammed him through the car
yeah."
windscreen. I said, yeah, Oba's cooked.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like you said, going back, sorry, I think Omos that'd be good. I think that's a big shot. He goes down to NXT. It makes sense.
Yeah,
Have some foundation, dominate the roster, and then move him up to the main roster. Because I think if you put him on a Raw now, I don't know if he resonates with the crowd anymore.
yeah. Like it's just, oh, Omos is back. Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
it. Like,
no
you
one
know what I'm
really
saying?
cares. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You can do much more with him. You can do
yeah,
much more. So hopefully they do a monster rebuild for him.
yeah,
And then my last topic, which I wanted to go through with you, is the NXT and TNA partnership. You kind of mentioned some of it in the last segment,
yeah,
and you spoke about Trick Williams obviously being the TNA champion. But looking at the crossover altogether, TNA, NXT superstars, kind of, do you see TNA superstars on NXT and vice versa? How do you think that partnership's working? Do you think it's
I think WWE
overkill?
benefited the most.
Yeah.
I think they'd be sick if they called A class.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
they win
Yeah.
the tag titles, the
Yeah.
NXT tag title, then I'll be like, cool. They're
Yeah.
now benefiting. Because it feels like, yeah, like you've got all these TNA, like AJ Francis, etc., but like I can still use them without paying them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I know that's not what they're doing, but like let's scout. Okay, yeah, Joe Hendry is gonna run down his contract and go WWE. I see them talking about Mike Santana now. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, no one's saying, "Oh, I'm gonna run out my WWE contract and go to TNA." Like, if I get fired, okay, I can go to TNA. Do you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'm not.
yeah,
No one's saying like, "Ban WWE." I'm going. It's like, you know what I'm saying. So WWE benefit that Jordan Grace, Joe Hendry at Mania,
yeah,
Trickster champion.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
do you know what I'm saying? Um, yeah. So the only what, like, yeah, that no one WWE is really in the program apart from Ariana Grace, who's been in the actual program on TNA
yeah,
repeatedly.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Obviously, Tricks now seems like he's going to be there weekly now.
yeah,
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. No, I get you. I get you. I think you're right. It does benefit WWE a bit more. I think they get to tap into that fan base as well because I think TNA's got a niche. The fans are not regular fans. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because TNA doesn't do regular wrestling, if that makes sense.
yeah,
The shows are outrageous sometimes,
yeah.
um, but in a good way. Outrageous in a good way. So I think the WWE benefit a much more than TNA does. But then a key question here. Do you think that it's a short term? It will be a short term partnership or a long term?
Um, probably be long term. Probably be long term.
Yeah, I think.
So I get
I think.
TNA. I think TNA still benefit from the viewership because I didn't watch TNA for years. I used to watch TNA when like AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, Ron Killings, when it was like TNA/NWA. Them days there. I stopped watching it when Jeff Jarrett took over. I've ruined it. Yeah. So I used to watch.
Yeah,
So I knew. So like back in the day, I knew AJ Styles and Samoa Joe and Elite Skipper. The first time I saw the Canadian Destroyer, bro, like Pete Williams was TNA. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I never
yeah,
saw it no other place. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So now I will now check for TNA. I might not watch the show. It's quite hard to find something to watch. To be fair, but I'll go on X and look for the highlights,
right.
whatever highlights I can
Yeah,
find, or watch their YouTube highlights. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So they're
yeah.
getting that benefit. I guess their viewership probably gone up.
But yeah. What days do they air? They air Thursday, isn't
Thursday, yeah.
it? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna see if I can watch a couple shows anyway. See if
No,
I
it's
can catch up.
good. It's good. I recommend it.
Yeah. So I caught was it A class and Trick Williams
Hardy's,
segment.
yeah.
That was quite funny. And then I caught the match, the Hardys as well, which was a good match as well. So yeah, I might give that more of a watch.
That's a good
And
show.
then I've got a surprise segment in there that I didn't share, and it's Tanto of the week. Yeah. um, I'm gonna. I'll ask you what you think, but I'm gonna give it to Logan Paul. And the reason why, because I really like Logan Paul, but I thought when they ambushed Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes and he held up the heavyweight title, I thought,
Yeah,
oh, okay, cool. We onto something here. Is he gonna challenge next? Is this what the storyline's gonna build?
yeah,
And nothing.
yeah. Nothing.
He's dead
Obviously,
now.
yeah. Do you know is the way it was aiming? Because obviously, man knew Gunther was gonna win, innit? Or Seth's gonna cash in. So
Yeah,
I knew Logan Paul had
yeah,
maybe one day, but
yeah,
not
yeah,
in the
100%,
immediate, but
100%.
not in the immediate future. So yeah, it was a bit random.
Yeah, John Cena's holding up the belt. He's holding up the
Maybe
belt. I thought,
saying,
oh,
oh,
okay.
maybe saying, yeah, that the past and the present, or the now and the future. Maybe
Yeah,
that was the image they
yeah,
was going for.
yeah, yeah. It didn't work.
No,
So that one there, yeah, that's what I gave Tanto of the week for. Um, I don't know if you got any other things or anything that happened this week.
trying to think what happened. Um, no, I can't think of one on the top of my head. There's probably a few. There's probably a few. Nah, I can't think. I'm not gonna keep
Nah,
and R in, but I have one for
next.
next time, 100%.
No worries. Okay, cool. Well, we're gonna end it off there. Um, to recap, we went over a few things looking at Omos's new contract, looking at the storyline for Jacob Fatu and the looking at Ron Killings also. So this is up on YouTube, but we also have our audio that goes on Spotify and also goes on the podcast, Apple Podcast app. And we also have a Twitch channel, which we'll put the handles in right below. So you've been listening to and watching the Wrestling Bros podcast with Ash and Vec, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Peace.